Second ball. Here's Gomez in possession. Everton going from left to right. Branthwaite in possession. Everton in the blue shirts with white shorts and white socks. Sheffield United in their red and white striped shirts, red socks with the black and white shorts as Everton give it away. Sidibe with an optimistic ball through the middle of the field. Here's McGoldrick. Can't get away from Tom Davis, who gets himself in a bit of a tizzy, but keeps possession. He goes down, and eventually the free kick is given. Tom Davis just pulled back by David McGoldrick, who will be delighted to be starting up front today after getting those 2 goals against Chelsea in the 3-0 win, which I don't think anybody saw coming at all a couple of games ago. There's Luca Dean inside to Gylfi Sigurdsson. He loses out though. McGoldrick gets it. Davis wins it back again for Everton though. Here's Branthwaite. Pickford, Sheffield United seemingly opting for a high pressing approach for Everton today, which has worked for them in past games, so I don't know why it wouldn't work today. Richarlison out wide to Luca Dean, who's all on his own as Richarlison remains down. Here's Davis, how Everton play on. They've now lost possession and Richarlison remains on the deck. I think Branthwaite just needs to head it out, which is what he does. And Richarlison, it was a strong coming together with the Sheffield United man. Didn't see who it was. Was it Norwood perhaps? He was surrounded, Richarlison, straight away. He's the man who seemed to be the danger man. Well, it was a tussle with Norwood and Sander Berger, and Sander Berger's the man who got the knock in on Richarlison. Just a couple of studs across the side of Richarlison's foot. Certainly a sore one. Everton, incidentally, not playing the formation I thought they were going to play. They seem to be playing a 4-5-1, which is something Ancelotti hasn't opted for in past games. He tends to go for Richarlison and Calvert-Lewin up front, and it's the latter who will start up front. Richarlison out on the left. George Baldock with her coming together with Calvert-Lewin, looking to make an early impression on the Sheffield United right back. He had a great season, George Baldock. Him and Stevens on the other side really have been inspiring for the Blades this season. Like I said in my introduction, Ender Stevens with the most assists at Sheffield United this season, 14 to his name. Certainly a big number for a left back, and George Baldock not far behind at all. Incidentally, Baldock is the only outfield player who's played every minute of this season, as Sigurdsson gets into it also with Fleck. Richarlison gets it from the Icelandic midfielder. There's Sigurdsson caught in possession. The ball is lost, but it ends up at Dean, who's charged into by Ollie McBurney, and I think that may be a little word in the ear for Ollie McBurney, who does like to play the style of football which you could refer to as blood and thunder. Referee, incidentally, today is Stuart Atwell, who has history with both these sides in terms of sendings off. Luca Dean for Everton sent off in West Yorkshire as Everton played Huddersfield last season. Huddersfield man was 3 on goal, and Luca Dean rather cynically just took him down in a very, very professional foul as Everton give it away. Here is Norwood. McBurney now can't get it past Andre Gomez as Michael Keane heads it back to Jordan Pickford. Not straight at Jordan Pickford, but there was enough on the header back to the England goalkeeper so that McGoldrick couldn't get there. Here's Branthwaite, the youngster, left-footed, plays it forward to Richarlison, receives it up against Basham, but hits it against Basham and straight out for an Everton throw in midway inside their half on the Everton left. Well, speaking of Basham, he's also the man who has history with today's referee, Stuart Atwell. He was sent off back in 2014 playing against Port Vale in League One, would you believe, for Sheffield United, as there's claims of a handball against O'Connell, mostly claimed by Calvert-Lewin and Walcott, but nothing doing. And here's Osborne under pressure here, running back to his own corner flag, under pressure from Theo Walcott. He eventually manages to swivel and knock it against the shins of Theo Walcott, and that's the Everton bench you can hear applauding the intensity from Theo Walcott, which is a word you will associate with the former Arsenal man. There's a lot of pace, a lot of power. Theo Walcott doesn't always offer enough in front of goal for Everton. However, last weekend he got that late equaliser against Aston Villa, which could well be And well, not the final nail in the coffin for Aston Villa, but certainly a nail in the coffin for Aston Villa as sides around them start picking up points. A big game going down the bottom of the table tonight, with Brighton, who seem to be safe. Watford, the only real contenders who can go down apart from Villa and Bournemouth now. And unsurprisingly sacked manager Nigel Pearson, would you believe, yesterday evening. Michael Keane holds his arm out to say, where's the movement in front of me, lads, as Branthwaite sweeps on down the Everton left, but it's too far ahead of anyone in blue, and goes out for a Sheffield United throw-in on the right hand side. 6 minutes played here at Bramall Lane. It's Sheffield United 0, Everton 0 on Premier League Live. And what you will notice is we still haven't bent the knee for the false sound effects in the crowd, as McGoldrick's in a tussle here with Michael Keane. I think he wants a free kick, Michael Keane. He doesn't get it. Pickford does. He clears it long despite the pressure from Osborne. Calvert-Lewin, heavy touch from him as he tries to lay it off to Sigurdsson. Playing the number 10 role today, Gylfi Sigurdsson, which is, I think, where Carlo Ancelotti probably favours him. But we've not seen much of the Icelandic man in the number 10 position of late, as Everton have been going for a more traditional 4-4-2, implemented by Duncan Ferguson, which certainly inspired the Blues against teams like Manchester United and Chelsea. Here's Theo Walcott, tries to lay it off to Calvert-Lewin, but Theo Walcott was a yard or so offside. I think he knew he was offside as he slowed down as he looked through on goal. Well, Carlo Ancelotti be disappointed with how his side have come into these games, the last 4 games anyway. They seem to have a decent start after lockdown, a decent draw against Liverpool, wins against Leicester, wins against Norwich. However, since then, 2 draws and 2 defeats, which is certainly not what Ancelotti would have expected against sides such as Aston Villa and Southampton. I'm sure he would have liked to see 3 points picked up against them. And then in the middle of that, 3-0 defeat at Molineux. Not one to remember at all for Carlo Ancelotti. As the ball comes in here from Basham, it's left by Branthwaite rather bizarrely, but he was quite fortunate because Michael Keane was behind him. Here's Richarlison. He wins possession. Comes off the right foot of Chris Basham. Everton will throw in 20 yards inside their own half. Here's Branthwaite. Calm pass back to Jordan Pickford, and to Everton, who've had most of possession so far, as was the case at Goodison Park. Sheffield United came away winners that day, though. It's not about how much of the ball you have, it's about what you do with the ball. Branthwaite inside to Richarlison, who's shoved in the back, and it's Berger who wins it back. Here is the Norwegian. Baldock down the right hand side. It's Luca Dean in a bit of a tussle. The man goes down in red and white. It's Basham who goes down. Loses possession. Davis, big header forward, scooped into the air by Sander Berger. It's all a bit chaotic in the middle, to be honest. When Everton get into the middle, they're swarmed by red and white shirts, not allowing the creative players of Walcott, Richarlison and Sigurdsson any time. Everton pretty much having the ball just in their own third. Here's Gomez, sweeps the ball out to the right where Sidibe picks it up midway inside the Everton half, heads towards the halfway line, cuts back inside onto his right foot and plays it inside to Andre Gomez. Gomez inside to Richarlison, straight into the feet of Norwood. Not a great pass by the Brazilian. And here the shout from Chris Wilder telling Baldock to get forward. He fancies it against Luca Dean as well, you know. Still going here. Here's Sander Berger. The flag stays down, it comes in, it deflects off Tom Davis, and Jared Branthwaite is able to sweep it clear as Davis doesn't clear it very well at all. Still alive down the right for Sheffield United. Baldock looking for Sander Berger. Under pressure is Tom Davis, but Tom Davis shows great experience just to outmuscle Sander Berger and see it roll out of play for a goal kick. Well, he has been around for a long time now, Tom Davis. 4 years ago he made his first Everton appearance in the Premier League, that is. 22 years of age, as is Sander Berge, incidentally. Slightly different pathways to the Premier League for those two. Tom Davies joining Everton when he was a small boy, and Sander Berge coming for £20+ million from Belgian side Genk at the start of the year. Both of them with 1 goal to the names this campaign. I'm sure there's not a competition between the two of them, but who will get the second? If will one of them get a second? We'll find out today, maybe. Here's Tom Davies bringing the ball forward for Everton. He's got runners to his left, he's got runners through the middle. Instead he cuts inside onto his right foot and spreads the ball to the right hand side where the Frenchman Sidibe waits, but he's under pressure straight away, and Everton go back to Keane. And Sidibe under pressure once again from that high press from Sheffield United. It ends up back at the feet of Jared Branthwaite. 11 minutes gone, 0-0. Not much to talk about so far at Bramall Lane. Here's Keane, stands on the ball, chucks it forward, and the flag has been raised against Dominic Calvert-Lewin. A bit of a late decision there. It seemed as if to me the referee blew his whistle before the flag went up. Signed the decision, so Sheffield United do have possession. Thought for a moment it might have been handball, however the flag was raised against Calvert-Lewin. Strange one, you don't see that too often. Sheffield United play it forward. Branthwaite goes up. He's beaten in the air by McBurney. Second ball's won by Keane. Davies doesn't get the third ball though. Berger does. Here's Baldock. Can he get the ball in? No, he can't. It's blocked by Richarlison. And we'll have the first corner of the game. Richarlison preventing George Baldock from crossing the ball into the Everton penalty area. And Chris Wilder's side will be the first one to have a corner. They have got 3 big centre-backs making their way forward here, Sheffield United. They've still got the big lads up front as well in McGoldrick and McBurney. Can Norwood find one? Right-footed cross towards the penalty spot. Up goes Michael Keane, who heads it away. Kept alive by Osborne. Here's Ender Stevens, edge of the penalty area. He's got an overlapping runner. Won't need him though. He goes inside to McGoldrick. And now it's Basham out wide. McGoldrick to Ben Osborne. Under pressure from Walcott. The ball comes into the area, but the ball in from Osborne is rather disappointing. It'll be all too easy for Jordan Pickford in the full lemon yellow kit. And that's probably the most excitement we've had in this first 12.5 minutes, it has to be said. Really hasn't got going yet, this game, as tends to be the way in the games during lockdown. It's been the water break which has seen the start of any kind of attacking intent from either sides, as both teams kind of settle into their rhythm or struggle to settle into their rhythm. Speaking of failing to settle into a rhythm, Sander Berge's tripped by Luca Dean, 40 yards from goal out on the Sheffield United right hand side. And Sheffield United will get another chance from a set piece. Norwood, there's a better angle this for a right footer. He can just get that into that beautiful sweet spot between the edge of the 6-yard box and the penalty spot. Then Sheffield United could be onto something here. It will be Norwood, left hand raised, right footed in towards the back post. Out comes Pickford, who palms it behind for the second corner of the game for Sheffield United. But in the first 14 minutes or so, that's the first real time that any goalkeeper has been forced into making a save. It was a pretty straightforward one for Jordan Pickford. There was nobody in red and white there, but England's number 1 wasn't to know. He palms it behind for a corner. Second corner of the game from the other side this time. Norwood will come across once more to take it for Sheffield United. Again, raises the arm, whips it in towards the back post. It's over Pickford and just gone past O'Connell at the back post. Well, he came steaming in. He made no contact in the end, but O'Connell's stretched out right leg was just half a foot or so away from connecting. I mean, the angle was pretty much impossible for the Liverpool-born centre-back, and I'm sure he would have enjoyed scoring against one of the Merseyside sides. As it stands, it's still 0 shots on goal from either side. Norwood with 3 decent set pieces though for Sheffield United. .15 minutes gone, 0-0 on Premier League Live at Bramall Lane. Little to talk about so far. Sidibe wins the header. It's up in the air still. Gomez, Osborne, Davis gets the second ball, and was he tripped there? No, he wasn't. Ball goes through to Henderson, who gets his first touch of the game. He's got his cap on, Dean Henderson, sun in his eyes in this first half. Bulldog tries to slot it down the right hand side for the run of Sander Berge. However, Charleston's left-footed block will be enough. Tom Davis tripped just inside the Everton half. I'll keep you updated on anything going on down at the Amex. Brighton and Hove Albion playing Newcastle United in the other 6 o'clock kickoff here in the Premier League. I'm sure that has been slightly more exciting than this game. Here's Branthwaite, gives it away as Norwood intercepts it. Sigurdsson just waiting too long for that ball to come into his feet. There's only so much the centre-backs can do when in possession, especially when there's this high press going on. Here's Branthwaite again to Pickford, plays it inside to Gomez, switches it outside to Sidibe, and now this could be a chance for the Everton man to get forward from right back. He needs to be positive here. He plays it down the line for Calvert-Lewin, who tries to fizz it in behind for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Well, Walcott let that run out because he thought it was going to be an Everton throw-in. It sounded like it took a clip off the boot of the Sheffield United centre-back O'Connell. The linesman and the referee in agreement that it didn't. Otherwise I'm sure Theo Walcott would have kept that one in and fancied his chances against the Sheffield United defence. We're just getting pictures of Jared Branthwaite, who's certainly seen a lot of the ball in this first half. He hasn't really done much with it, of course. Young centre-back, only 18 years of age, signed from Carlisle in the January transfer window for less than £1 million. Seems to have a bit of talent about him, though. The man from Cumbria. Mason Holgate, incidentally, out for the season, as is Yerry Mina, so Branthwaite will probably start the next game for Everton as well. No other centre-backs in the squad today for the Blues. Yeah, defensive options available to Carlo Ancelotti, Leighton Baines and Seamus Coleman, as Sidibe whips the ball in towards the back post for Richarlison. It's missed by Baldock, so Richarlison will get there. Keeps it alive, goes back to Luca Dean. Inside to Sigurdsson. Tom Davis now under pressure from McBurney. Almost kind of expected the hit there. Here's Richarlison. Everton coming forward for the first time as Richarlison whips it in towards Calvert-Lewin, but it's dealt with at the back by John Egan, the man at the middle of those back three. Luca Dean may well throw this one long into the penalty area. Everton scored a few goals last season from his long throw, not so many this season. Here is Luca Dean, goes all the way back to Branthwaite in the Sheffield United half, switches it to Sidibe. This is the first time Everton have really had possession in the opposition half as Walcott tries to skip away from Stevens, but former Arsenal man matched by the former Pompey man. Here's Branthwaite all the way back to Pickford under pressure from Ollie McBurney. Keane. Sidibe inside to Gomez is the shout. Applause from the Everton bench as Everton's first time football gives Branthwaite a little bit of space to bring the ball forward. 10 yards to the halfway line, but opts to go back instead to Michael Keane. I think that's what Everton just need to get used to, really, is playing with a regular back four. Pickford, the only man really in this side who is the regular. Other than that, Everton mix and match it all season long, and I think having a regular back four is key to any side's success if you're playing a back four. Here's Walcott, good play from him. Here's Sigurdsson, slides it in behind for Theo Walcott. He's got support in the middle from Richarlison, but Walcott goes for goal himself. It goes across the face of goal and is kept alive by Luca Dean on the Everton left. Tom Davis now. First proper chance for Everton. That eventually the ball goes backward, but it was Theo Walcott in behind Egan, and he probably should have made it a bit easier for Richarlison at the back post. Instead, it was kind of a cross shot and nothing comes of it. Sheffield United get away with that one. Here's McGoldrick inside to Sander Berge. McGoldrick very, very deep for a striker. Here he is, midway inside the Everton half. Sweeps the play out to the left, but there's too much on that. And Stevens will watch it fly over his head. But it was Theo Walcott in behind for the first time this evening. It was good football from Sigurdsson, put it through the legs of O'Connell. And then, Walcott, I'm not sure whether that was a shot or a cross, but Richarlison was arriving at the back post and it didn't really trouble Dean Henderson in between the sticks. Davis, Richarlison looking to knock it to Sigurdsson, who was caught flat-footed. Oh, and here's a chance for Everton. Gomez pounces, plays it in behind for Calvert-Lewin, but it's too far ahead of Calvert-Lewin, and Sheffield United have enough at the back. But that's the first time we've seen a misplaced pass, really, from anyone in red and white. Here's Richarlison. Well played there. Everton's number 7 in a battle with Baldock. Keeps possession. Now under pressure from Basham. And now Osborne, who manages eventually to outmuscle the former Watford man. Sheffield United just with possession at the back. O'Connell, the number 5 for Sheffield United, is the left-sided of the back three. Basham on the right of Egan, who sits in the middle. Here's Dean, free header at the back. He gives it to Sigurdsson. Tom Davis chucks the ball forward, in behind for the run of Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Henderson comes out. Now he's got to be careful here, Henderson. And he does the sensible thing and absolutely well. He's into Rose Ed, which I think is a genius idea, considering there's nobody sat in Rose Ed. So the replacement ball will be washed down and plonked into Luca Dean's grasp. Richarlison, Dean, Richarlison. He's looking to go back, Richarlison. He needs to go forward when he gets possession there. Everton just too negative in their approach, really. It's Sidibe. Walcott doesn't have any movement in front of him, so again goes back to Sidibe, who goes back to Michael Keane. And it's all feeling a little bit like Groundhog Day for Everton. Here's Pickford to Michael Keane, holds his arms out and says, "Where's the movement?" Goes forward, gives it away to O'Connell, who's stepped into midfield momentarily. Stevens under pressure from Walcott, heads it against Walcott and out for Sheffield United throw on the halfway line. I think we'll be expecting the first drinks break in just a second. 22.5 minutes played. That's exactly halfway through the first half, but we'll wait a little bit longer. It's a warm evening here in Yorkshire. 0-0, by the way, in the Brighton-Newcastle game. Here's the right centre-back Basham switching the play to Stevens. He lays it off first time to Osborne. Now O'Connell joins in the attack, the big centre-back. O'Connell now looking for options into feet. Doesn't see much, so has to do a quick 1-2 with O'Connell. And it's won back here by Andre Gomez, who's going to get there. He's got Calvert-Lewin through the middle if he can find him. It's a beautiful lofted ball over the top. Here's Calvert-Lewin with a heavy touch, and it kind of bounces off the top of his chest, slashes chin, and in to the truck cap wearing Dean Henderson. And that was a chance in behind for Dominic Calvert-Lewin, and it just come away from him. It was Andre Gomez again who's seeing most of the attacking play through Everton at the moment. And the ball was decent, but the touch was poor from Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I say it was a great weighted ball over the top, and Calvert-Lewin should have done so much better. I think it actually came off his arm in the end, Calvert-Lewin, rather than his chest. He'll be disappointed. He would have loved to have got a goal there, as the drinks are passed around here for the drinks break. But it's been a pretty drab affair so far. I'm not going to lie to you. I don't know whether the Brighton and Newcastle game is a bit more interesting. John Anderson and Sean Derry are down on the south coast, and we'll head to them at half time to see what's been going on in the other Premier League game here on Premier League Live. And there will be another game later on in the Premier League as well, which Tom Rennie and Paul Mortimer will be there for. Crystal Palace make the trip to the Midlands to play Wolves, who are harbouring European ambitions of their own. Jimenez, the man who I'm sure We're looking to get in on that about half an hour or so until the team news comes in for that game. But here in the first 25 minutes at Bramall Lane, there's been no attempts on goal. There's been opportunities where the players have got into dangerous positions, both for Sheffield United and for Everton. But no side yet to test the goalkeeper or to have an attempt at goal. Theo Walcott with a kind of cross shot, which I don't think will go down as an attempt at goal, as Stevens gets away from Gomez, pulls it back but gives it away to Sigurdsson. And Everton's number 10 does a clever little turn and tries to release Sigurdsson instead, Sidibe rather. He gives it to Michael Keane, who's pressured by McBurney, and McBurney gets his reward for the pressure on the former Burnley man. Sidibe looking for movement. Shouts of quicker from Seamus Coleman down in front of us. Well, Calvert-Lewin certainly looked like he got a shove in the back. Calvert-Lewin certainly got the touch, but Everton have got the throw in as Ancelotti mouths a whistle to his mouth there. I think he disagreed with Stuart Atwell on that decision. Sidibe, Calvert-Lewin, he flicks it on looking for anyone in blue, finds nobody in blue, only finds Basham. Here's McGoldrick now, it's gone all the way through to McGoldrick, who's pressured by multiple blue shirts. Here's McBurney up against Jared Branthwaite, who thought about diving in, didn't. The ball comes in and Everton deal with it. Flames of handball against Andre Gomez here. There was multiple Sheffield United players asking for that one there. If it was, it just ricocheted off of Andre Gomez. Michael Keane tried to clear his lines and he just booted it full power at the foot of Andre Gomez, and it looked to ricochet off the Portuguese international's foot into his hand, maybe, was it? We'll find out now. We are just checking VAR. Pickford wanted to take the kick, and he can do the kick now, as I think VAR has made its decision. And there is the confirmation from Stuart Atwell. No penalty for Sheffield United. It would have been a very soft one indeed. Didn't take too long to make that decision. VAR as Pickford goes long. Aiming for Calvert-Lewin. He's been in the air by John Egan though, who stood his ground well. Here is Osborne. Sweeps the ball down the Sheffield United left, but there's nobody near it in Sheffield United colours, so Keane steps in and gives it back to his goalkeeper. Here is Michael Keane in the Everton penalty area. Michael Keane out wide to Sidibe, who was quite surprised to see in the starting 11 today, because Seamus Coleman has been starting every game for Everton in at right back since the restart, but he's making his first start since the restart today, I should say. Jibril Sidibe, 2 substitution appearances since the lockdown fixtures began. Yeah, looked a real promising player at the beginning of the season for Everton, bombing down that right hand side, essentially a right winger at times, but we've not seen that from him of late. He's had a couple of chances to get a ball into the box today, Sidibe, but his crossing has kind of let him down. But Everton don't really have the numbers up there anyway, so he's only ever going to really look for one player in blue, and that's Dominic Calvert-Lewin, who has had a sniff at goal, which he wasted. It wasn't a shot, it was just a missed control in the chest. As Branthwaite wins the ball in the air against Sander Berge, Richarlison goes down holding his head. O'Connell gives it out wide to Sander Berge, and I think Richarlison just needs a moment on the floor here. I mean, we've seen that double head injury really for Eric Bailly in the Manchester United game in the FA Cup yesterday, and it was just a whack in the back of the head for Richarlison from Sander Berge, and I think he'll be alright. It was forearm into the back of the Brazilian's head, but Richarlison, I think sometimes his reputation comes first in these decisions, but the referee Stuart Atwell doing the sensible thing and just stopping play whilst Richarlison's down, as he has a quick word with the physio. Holds up 3 fingers. Richarlison guesses right. Here's Egan in possession for Sheffield United, asks for it into feet, doesn't find any into feet. Dean goes up with that one. Here's Sander Berge. Was that handball against the Norwegian? Pickford claimed it. The referee didn't give it though. Here's Sander Berge, plays it in behind here for Basham as Luca Dean slides in and knocks it behind for a corner. Strong sliding challenge from Luca Dean. Didn't fancy getting in a tussle with the centre-back for Sheffield United. He was playing as an overlapping full-back, essentially, there, Basham. Not bad with the ball at his feet. Dean, solid tackle from him. Corner for Sheffield United, whipped in towards the penalty spot. Calvert-Lewin gets a full flush forehead on that. Here's Walcott in a tussle with Osborne. He's still going here, Theo Walcott, and he's then dragged down by Osborne. And I'll be surprised if he gets away without a yellow card here, Ben Osborne. It was a very cynical foul. And Charlison, I think, making that point to the referee. There was a little bit of handbags between Osborne and Walcott before the former Arsenal man got there, and then there was a left arm on the shoulder of Theo Walcott. Well, we're just checking if there's for a red card here, I think, from the VAR. I mean, there was a connection between Walcott and Osborne. It was Walcott and Osborne tussling for it. I think Walcott's left elbow maybe makes a connection with Osborne's cheek, side of his face for sure. And they're just double checking that. I think Sigurdsson, the Everton captain today, is trying to find out exactly what's going on. VAR checking for it. I'll be very surprised this is a red card. No, there we go, VAR not making a decision there. I mean, that would have been the harshest red card you'll have seen all season against Theo Walcott. Not given in the end, so we resume play. Everton have possession. Pickford chucks it forward with his left foot, looking for Dean on the left, but it goes all the way over the Frenchman, who wants a free kick. He's not going to get it. A little bit of a coming together with, I think it was Baldock down the Everton left. Well, Luca Dean is the man who you want running down that left hand side for Everton. Nobody else in blue has made more chances or made more assists than him this season. I mean, it's been a pretty distinctively average season for Everton. Once again, they're going to finish with another mid-table mediocrity position. I don't even think if they can get into the top half at the moment, but I'm sure 11th will be their final position, maybe 12th at worst. They really haven't pushed over the last few weeks. I think once the Merseyside derby result was out the way, maybe mentally, once Liverpool hadn't won the Premier League at Goodison Park, that was their objective achieved, to be perfectly honest. I'm sure Everton fans going into the office wouldn't have heard the last of that for a long, long time, as Gomez does well to pick out Sidibe. Sigurdsson screaming for it in the middle. He's got space as well here, Sigurdsson. He turns, he plays it through to Richarlison. He's pressured though by Baldock. Ball from Sigurdsson just behind Richarlison there, as in dives Tom Davis. Ollie McBurney flies in and is tripped by Tom Davis. Tom Davis flying in with a sliding challenge. McBurney tried to block off Tom Davis, but I don't think he really expected the youngster to come flying through the back of him like that. And McBurney tried to back in, and Davis had committed to the slide tackle, so the foul was made and the yellow card is raised from the referee, and it is a pretty much nailed on yellow card on Ollie McBurney. And he does enjoy putting the foot in, Tom Davis. When he first started playing as a young lad, he was expected for his attacking returns, not really known for assists for Everton. In fact, he's not got one in his last 71 Premier League appearances. Would you believe that, Tom Davis? There's the ball in behind. It's over Luca Dean. No, it's not. He gets just about the top of his head onto it and nods it behind for another United corner. About 9 minutes of normal time. 11 minutes of normal time remaining. It's still 0-0 on Premier League Live between Sheffield United and Everton. Calvert-Lewin marking, bashing it in towards the near post, headed away by Davies. It might fall here for Ender Stevens on the volley, and it's the first attempt at goal of this game, and it is a rather good summation of the attacking return in this game. It flies to the very back of the stand behind Jordan Pickford's goal. A poor effort from Ender Stevens. Well, at least it's an effort at goal. 34.5 minutes played, we finally have a shot at goal, and it comes from Sheffield United. The score, though, is still 0-0. Everton will play out from the back again. Sidibe under pressure from Osborne. He slips as he tries to play it forward. It's gone all the way to Luca Dean, who has a centre mind to head it back to his goalkeeper Jordan Pickford, and it looked there as if there was space for Dean to run into. Instead Pickford slows it down. Sidibe, Gomez, the man who was a push in the back on Dominic Calvert-Lewin from O'Connell. It's Andre Gomez in the middle who's receiving the ball from the Everton defence. It seems to be Pickford to Sidibe into the middle where Gomez gets it, and then tries to either feed it in behind for Walcott or into the feet of Sigurdsson or Calvert-Lewin. Here is Sigurdsson, tries to feed it through to Calvert-Lewin. He's then tripped. Does he know he's not a convincing foul for Stuart Atwell? That is Basham knocks it forward. McBurney on, it's won well by McGoldrick. Here's Osborne now, prods it out wide for Enda Stevens. Two Sheffield United players in the middle. Stevens thought about the cross, opted to go back instead to O'Connell. Here he is. He can't get it past Walcott though, as it bobbles out for a Sheffield United throw-in 20 yards inside the Everton half. Stevens looking for an option down Sheffield United left. McGoldrick is the option. McGoldrick gets there. Sidibe falls over, but luckily McGoldrick plays it against his knee when he was on the ground. And he goes for another Sheffield United throw about 20 yards further down the Everton left though, level with the edge of the penalty area here. Stevens gets it back from Osborne. But needs to be careful here as Walcott gets it back. He's lost it now though to Stevens. Tries to get it in, but Sidibe will prevent it from coming into the penalty area once again. Solid defending from the Everton right back. I think traditionally that's always been the primary role of the Everton defender. However, has gone out for a corner. It looked like it might have been a throw-in, but corner is the decision. Sheffield United have those mounting up, by the way. Everton yet to have one. Norwood raises left arm, puts it in right-footed. Pickford stays at home. It's met on the head by McBurney, and it isn't guided goalwards, but it is guided into the hands of Jordan Pickford, who tries to start an Everton counter-attack, looking for Theo Walcott over the top. Baldock had to be careful with that, and he does win it as can't even get he doesn't even give it away as Sander Berger is tripped. Well, the attempts stat, I'm trying to think of what the Everton attempt was on goal. Is that the Calvert-Lewin miscontrol? Is that what we're talking about? Walcott maybe when he was in behind? It's hard to tell exactly. Here's Gomez. Receives it into feet, plays it out to the right where Sidibe is. I can see how Everton are trying to work it around the back now as Sidibe then chucks it forward to Calvert-Lewin. Got time to bring it down. Here's Sigurdsson. Everton coming forward, plays into the feet of Richarlison onto his left foot. Across comes the defender Basham, and that is a solid sliding challenge from Basham, who says he thinks Calvert-Lewin was coming from an offside position. The linesman kept his flag down, and his touch just took him wide, Richarlison. Basham was always going to outmuscle the Brazilian in that position, much stronger than the former Watford man. Here's Sigurdsson, receives the throw into feet. You can hear the shouts of no cross from the Sheffield United touchline. It's dealt with out the back. It's gone all the way through to McBurney actually. Branthwaite tight to the Sheffield United forward. Everton need to get their positions back here as Sheffield United try to come on the counter, but instead they go backwards. Stevens gives it to O'Connell, who gives it back to Dean Henderson, who doesn't need that cap at the moment because the clouds have come across here in Sheffield. Henderson goes long. Could well be at Manchester United next season, you never know. The performances we've seen of De Gea of late. Here's Andre Gomez, who concedes the free kick, and Gomez can't quite believe it. He had a bit of a shove in the back, and then two Sheffield United players fell to the ground, but the free kick has been given against Andre Gomez. Well, it was a bit of a lean into the side of McGoldrick, which I think is what the foul is for. It's a soft one, but actually, to be fair, Andre Gomez didn't go for the ball when he went with McGoldrick, and then he could have gone for the ball with Berger. Instead he went directly for Berger, so the free kick is given against Andre Gomez. I think two wrongs don't make a right there. Andre Gomez, free kick for Sheffield United. Norwood tries to chip it in, but Walcott closes him down. Claims of handball against Theo Walcott, and Baldock beats him to it. Baldock says it's handball and is disappointed against Norwood's free kick. 5 minutes till half time, and then I'm sure both managers will be keen to tinker with their tactical approach, I think. Sheffield United need the points more than Everton if they're to progress higher up the table and maybe have a sniff of European football next season. And this is good football here from Sheffield United. Here's Sander Berger, goes out wide to McGoldrick, inside to Berger. Basham in the penalty area for Sheffield United, crosses the ball towards the back post. Pickford gets a strong left hand to that cross and palms it away. There was nobody in red and white waiting at the back post, but Jordan Pickford wasn't to know, and England's number one is forced into a semi-half save in this game, which is as interesting as the attacking play comes in this game in this first half. Well, it was Basham who was in the penalty area and might well have been dipping in the back post there from Basham. It was certainly a cross, but well, no, it wasn't going in, but Pickford wasn't to know that. Jordan Pickford palms it away. Very little to talk about in the first half. Free kick for Sheffield United. Norwood chucks it long, just about makes it into the penalty area. Dean gets it in the chest. Here's McBurney. Ben Osborne out wide, tries to dink it over Dean, but can't. Frenchman with an overhead volley clears his lines. Basham down the right hand side, swings the ball into the penalty area. It's not a bad one. Michael Keane heads it away. Sigurdsson, Davis, dispossessed, but Dean has the second ball, plays it down the line to Richarlison, who stands his ground. Strong play from Richarlison. Big round of applause from Jordan Pickford. You can hear that padded clapping from the England goalkeeper. Sidibe crosses the halfway line and goes inside to Gomez. He's got no option out wide, but skips inside away from Norwood. Ancelotti enjoyed that as the ball goes down the left hand side for Richarlison, who may well be offside when he gets to this ball. Flag stays down and Richarlison wins a cheap corner. You can hear the coaching staff saying that they think Richarlison was offside. Richarlison continued to play and then opted to try and win the cheap corner. Knew he couldn't keep possession and skip away from Baldock, so played it against the legs of the Blades right back, and Everton finally have their first corner of the game. Can Everton make this count from the set piece? Sigurdsson will take, swings it in, it's a deep one from Sigurdsson. The keeper comes, Henderson, he's out of his goal. Walcott has it edge of the penalty area. Can he get a good ball in? Holds it towards the back post. Keane attacks it, saved by Henderson. Sigurdsson tries to lay it off to Richarlison, but Sheffield United stands strong, and that's the first attempt on goal we've seen as Everton come forward once again. Sheffield United this time are able to deal with it, but it was a strong header from Michael Keane at the back post. Theo Walcott just holding up the ball, and Dean Henderson leapt at it, kind of like Peter Schmeichel, made himself big, star-shaped, kept it out. Dean Henderson still goalless here at Bramall Lane. In fact, it wasn't. It was a post that denied the Everton man. Well, it was all about Walcott's cross, and it was the post that was struck. In fact, it was Calvert-Lewin, not Michael Keane. Means I have my eyes tested, I think. Here's Gomez. Was he hit there by McGoldrick? Apparently not, according to Stuart Atwell. Good play from McGoldrick. Sander Berger, can he get the ball in here for Sheffield United? Dean stays at home. It comes in towards McBurney. It's over him as Pickford receives the ball from Sidibe and just swipes it away with his right foot. Calvert-Lewin in a tussle with O'Connell, and it's O'Connell who wins it. And he absolutely blasts it into touch. Well, Calvert-Lewin, the closest we've come in this game. A header at the back post, and he did well to beat Osborne in the air, and it struck the post and then struck the goalkeeper and went away, and it looked as if Sigurdsson was just going to rattle that home instead of trying to set up the Brazilian Richarlison. Ball goes long for Calvert-Lewin, who concedes the foul against O'Connell. He's holding the back of his head, Jack O'Connell. Not one to stay down. The man born on Merseyside. This is a man that Chris Wilder certainly wouldn't like to lose. They do have defensive options on the bench, Sheffield United. Jack Robinson's played at centre-back a few times in the Premier League this season, as has Phil Jagielka. the announcer in the stadium here, announcing it to, well, I imagine just the coaching staff, who can pretty clearly see that board in front of them. But here's the chance here for Sheffield United as it spins for Ben Osborne. Osborne got his shot away, but his shot was blocked by Michael Keane's studs, and it spun up into the grasp of a rather relieved Jordan Pickford. And that was a pretty decent opportunity, that, for Sheffield United. There hasn't been many half chances in this game, but that will definitely be one. And yeah, the Everton man just about got in time, preventing Osborne from getting his shot away. It's given away by Sheffield United. Richarlison have it, he dinks it over the top, looking for the run of Walcott. Oh, and it's a strong challenge on Richarlison. Norwood saying that he got the ball, and the referee blows for the free kick. Norwood is going to get a telling off from the referee here, I think. Oh no, he's not. He's going to get a yellow card, in fact, Oliver Norwood. He went with the studs showing, the Northern Irishman. Richarlison's scream was echoed around the whole ground here. Oh, and it was the follow through on the left leg, really, which caught Richarlison. The right foot got the ball, but he certainly followed through with the studs on Richarlison, who is known for making a bit of a dramatic scream, a bit of a dramatic fall, but there certainly was a connection on the Brazilian's left foot from Norwood. Told him to get up straight away, the Sheffield United captain, but the yellow card, I'm sure, will be a fair decision. We are checking it with VAR for a red card, but I'm pretty certain it's a yellow at worst for Norwood here. VAR, man in charge of VAR, I should say, is Martin Atkinson. Refereed a Premier League game or two in his time, so I'm pretty sure he'll agree with the referee Stu Outwell on this occasion. Richarlison seems okay. He's got a pat on the back from the physio. The magic sponge has now been put away. We've had the 2 minutes added on, and I expect that the ball into the penalty area here will be the last kick of the half. It's a very central free kick. It's a difficult one to kind of generate any power on. Sigurdsson's standing over it, as is Luca Dean. It might be too far out to shoot, but I have seen goals go in from here. It's Sigurdsson. He crosses it towards the back post. It's headed away by Basham as far as Andre Gomez, but the whistle blows for half time here at Bramall Lane in a game which was pretty slow to get started. But then after the first drinks break, we saw a few opportunities. Stevens hit a volley into the heavens. Basham had a cross shot that made Pickford flap about in the air a little bit, but the best chance so far fell to Dominic Calvert-Lewin. A ball towards the back post from Theo Walcott, recycling a corner, was met by the former Blade, but his header just a few inches to the left of the goal gaping, hit the post and was cleared by Sheffield United. The score at half time here in Steel City is Sheffield United 0, Everton 0, and we'll now head down to the south coast to Brighton and Hove Albion, where John Anderson and Sean Derry are waiting.
There to go in and commit himself, where Gross is going nowhere in the corner, giving a set player away, and they've not defended them well this first half.
It's an outswinger, it's flicked on by Webster, it's cleared by Newcastle only as far as Bissouma. Back out it comes to the far side with Pascal Gross, who sweeps it back into the Newcastle penalty area. Away it comes, and that is half time. Well, Brighton's avowed intent beginning of the game was to get a point to make sure that
it was a great cross, but it was an even better header from the Brazilian Richarlison. A sublime header from Everton's number 7. Well, it was a deep, deep cross from Gylfi Sigurdsson, and it looked as if it wasn't going to beat the first man. However, it just skimmed off the head of the Sheffield United defender, and Richarlison, for a winger, is superb in the air. And he's proved there once again what a brilliant aerial threat he is. Richarlison with the hands past Henderson. That is as good a header as you'll see this season. Everton take the lead at Bramall Lane. Brilliant header from Richarlison. Well, Sheffield United have been so solid at home in particular this season. They've only conceded 1 goal in their last 4 home games. Well, make that 2 in 5. Henderson got a fingertip to it, but not enough to keep it out. Sheffield United will come forward straight away though with Sander Berge, who's dispossessed by the goal scorer Richarlison. Well, in the first minute of the game, we have a goal. Well, I don't think anybody expected that to come after the rather dreary first half we had. Here's McGoldrick. Sheffield United need to respond. Well, Sheffield United's whole game plan is to sit back, absorb pressure and make their chances count when they can break. That's what they did at Goodison Park to come away with the 3 points earlier in the season. But now they're going to have to come out a little bit, which should open up the game. Can Everton's back 4 deal with Sheffield United's front 3 as it comes into the penalty area? It's brought down on the chest of the back post by Stevens, who gets his volley away, but it's blocked by Djibril Sidibe, and Jordan Pickford, who's now wearing a cap at one end, keeps it out. Here's Gomez. Good turn away from Osborne. Slides it down the right hand side for Theo Walcott. He's got Calvert-Lewin in the middle. Can he find him? Walcott into the middle. It's blocked into the middle. Can Sigurdsson get the second ball? No, he can't. And Sheffield United get away with it. A breakdown in communication after Walcott got in behind. But all of a sudden there's holes appearing in this back line for Sheffield United. Sidibe should have won that, couldn't. McGoldrick gets it. Here's McGoldrick, midway inside the Everton half, running backwards though. Plays it out wide to Basham. The centre-back progresses here. Outline now is Baldock. Into that left foot, goes back to Berger. He needs options. Doesn't have any inside him. Instead goes back to Norwood down the line for Basham, who's under pressure and falls over trying to play the overlapping pass, but gives it away to Luca Dean. Here's Davis, runs into trouble. Not smart that from Tom Davis. Sheffield United win it back high up the pitch. Here's the ball in behind. It's Basham, pulls it back. Davis needs to get there, can't get there. It's blocked in the middle, and Sidibe clears it away. Sheffield United pressing this Everton defence. Solid defending though so far from the blue of Everton. In behind here is McGoldrick, but Keane comes across and the offside flag is raised against McGoldrick anyway. Well, we've had more shots in the first few minutes here than we did in the whole 45. It was McGoldrick with the shot. Here's Branthwaite. Everton still keen to play it around the back. Here is Keane. Sidibe. He's got space to run into, but he opts instead to spread it out to the Everton left where Dean waits. He wins the header and is then wiped out, but the ball falls at Richarlison's feet. Dean's available on the overlap. He can find him, but he can't because Basham has stepped in and took control of that situation as Richarlison trips his man. Sheffield United down the left hand side. Here's Osborne under pressure from Keane. Does well to keep it. No, he doesn't keep it in. It looked like he did well to keep it in. Well, Richarlison, he has been one of the 2 danger men for Everton this season. The other one, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but Richarlison there, remarkable header. Didn't even have to look at the goal. Just an instinctive header from the Brazilian. 13 goals and 3 assists in the Premier League for him now this season, Richarlison. More goal involvements than anybody else at the club. 119th app, 34 goal in the Premier League for the Brazilian as Luca Dean slides in on Baldock. Bit of handbags between the two of them. Baldock trying to shove Dean. Dean trying to shove Baldock, and Richarlison is the man who's playing the referee in this spar. It was something over nothing. Well, I think it was Luca Dean unhappy initially with Baldock. Baldock disagreed with Luca Dean, shall we say. Well, yeah, Luca Dean went in on Baldock as... Well, yeah, it was Luca Dean said that Baldock stood on him, and then Baldock shoved Dean. Dean shoved Baldock, and then Richarlison stepped in to referee the game before the fourth official, Andrew Madley, finally appeared, as it was right in front of the two sides' benches. Well, there may have been a little stand on the leg, actually, from Baldock on Luca Dean. I don't think he was happy about that, Luca Dean. It's not gone unnoticed by the referee. Or maybe it has. It wasn't a stamp, it was more of a stand up on, as Walcott is dispossessed, and he's got it back. And he's lost it once again, outmuscled by Enda Stevens. Sigurdsson forces the ball back to O'Connell, who chucks the ball forward. Michael Keane heads it away as Calvert-Lewin tumbles into O'Connell and concedes the free kick. Still goalless on the south coast at Brighton and Hove Albion. 0-0 against Newcastle in that game. Basham to Baldock, looks for an option down the right hand side. Doesn't seem much, so Norwood is his option in the middle. And now here's O'Connell, a chance for Sheffield United to progress in possession, but O'Connell instead gives it to Sander Berger in the centre circle. Osborne. Everton looking a little bit more steady at the back. Here's O'Connell out wide. Stevens. Walcott got a foot on it but didn't win possession back. Goldrick to O'Connell. Progress down that left hand side. O'Connell rather. Goldrick. Osborne. O'Connell now. This is patient football from the home side as Stevens gets in behind Sidibe. And Michael Keane has to come across the front of Ollie McBurney to sweep that one away for a throw in right by the corner flag. Solid position in that from Michael Keane. That is one of his standout attributes for Everton. Does seem to be in the right place at the right time, as he proved there. Stevens gives it to Osborne, who has a poor return, and it goes straight out for an Everton throw in. That will disappoint his manager, Chris Wilder. Of course, John Fleck is the man who would usually be starting in midfield for Sheffield United. He's been injured since the lockdown began. He's a key player, so he's in a real shame not to see start. He came on as a sub in the last game, in the loss at Leicester. And at the moment, they're heading towards another loss here, this time at home, somewhere where they don't lose too many games, Sheffield United. They've got plenty of possession, though, especially since going behind. Baldock. Davis plashes Basham. Good football to find Baldock on the overlap. Here he is. He's now got Basham on the overlap. Cross comes Dean to stop the cross. It's not dealt with. Michael Keane gets a foot on it. And then Jordan Pickford leaps at the feet of the former Burnley man. But it's Everton who are doing all the defending at the moment. Here's Richarlison now on the counter for Everton. But Egan steps in, coming across from centre-back. And his manager, Carlo Ancelotti, plants his black leather shoe on that to control it on the touchline. And Michael Keane said he was in the right place at the right time. He was in the right place at the right time there, but didn't really deal with it that well. He should have probably just swung a left foot at it. Luckily for him, he pretty much controlled it for Jordan Pickford to deal with. Just caught behind the play there. Michael Keane, Jordan Pickford on his toes though, and onto that. Here is Keane, inside to Gomez, Davis, out wide for Sidibe. Good play from the youngster. Sidibe crosses the halfway line, under pressure, goes inside to Sigurdsson. Needs movement ahead of him, doesn't have much. Out wide is Luca Dean. Gomez finds him. Richarlison's available on the overlap. Dean finds him. Richarlison plays the returning overlapping run to Dean, but coming across is John Egan, who sensed the danger and dealt with it. As Branthwaite wins the header against McGoldrick. That's good football from Everton, that. Probably the best bit of football that I've seen this afternoon from them into playing football. Unfortunately, it comes to nothing. It was a smooth transition, that's for sure. Up goes Luca Dean, beaten in the air by Baldock. Who's going to get the second ball? It's going to be Ollie McBurney, and he recycles it with Baldock. back to Norwood. Needs to be careful. He plays down the left-hand channel, looking for the run of Basham. Davis wants the offside flag. It's not going to come against Basham. Davis just has to stand his ground here, and it's exactly what he does. Basham falls to the ground. That's the linesman. Why didn't you put your flag up? But I just don't think there was enough of a connection on Basham, who looked a little bit too keen to go down. Just seen that header again from Richarlison. It's a brilliant glancing attack from the blue man. Here's Michael Keane. It's been all Sheffield United since that header from Richarlison, though. Forward the ball goes. Richarlison wins the header, but he heads it back towards his own goal. Here's Sander Berger, miscontrols it, gives it away to Richarlison. Luca Dean in his own half. Forward to Sigurdsson. There's some space here for Sigurdsson to run into. Plays it forward to Calvert-Lewin, who's all on his own. Has support now from Dean and Richarlison. Richarlison. Egan tries to win it back, but Richarlison skips away from him. Up against two Sheffield players now. Luca Dean. Richarlison tries to put it inside to Calvert-Lewin, but it's well read by Egan. And it's given away here. Theo Walcott heads it inside to Gylfi Sigurdsson. It's loose in the middle. Where's it going to drop? It's O'Connell who comes across, and he clears it away. Luca Dean, and now Branthwaite, and now all the way back to Jordan Pickford. But Sigurdsson had the opportunity to run forward there, tried to slide it into the path of Dominic Calvert-Lewin, but it was just behind the former Sheffield United man. 57.5 minutes played. Sheffield United 0, Everton 1 here in South Yorkshire. Pickford, Branthwaite wants it, but Pickford wants to play it long, which is what he does, looking for Calvert-Lewin in the tussle with Egan, and he manages to win the ball as well. Calvert-Lewin, brilliant play, onto his left foot, gets a shot away, saved by Henderson, and away by O'Connell. Well, it was strong centre-forward play from Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Managed to outmuscle Egan, and then even managed to get a shot away on at goal. You could tell he wanted it on his right foot, but yeah, in the end had to go for it with his left foot, wound it up, but Henderson had to be ready to that, and the Manchester United loanee keeps it at 1. The initial response to Everton going ahead seems to have slowed by Sheffield United as Everton get their first bit of possession on their back line. Dean plays it forward. It's a poor ball though, trying to find Calvert-Lewin. Sander Berger to Baldock, cuts inside onto this left foot, and here in behind for Sander Berger, there's numbers in the penalty area of Sheffield United, and it was McBurney who got there, and he wants a corner. He's not going to get it, but McBurney looked for a moment like he'd just gotten away from Michael Keane in the middle, and unfortunately for McBurney, his shot was completely off target. In fact, it was off target because it took a deflection off Michael Keane. He's rather unlucky there not to get the corner, but Sheffield United getting some space down the right there. Well, there's a substitution occurring. You can hear it. Well, there you go, Billy Sharp, the man who is coming on for the home side, the local lad, Billy Sharp. I don't think he'll ever forget the first game of the season. And it's John Fleck who's coming in now as well. Came on as a sub in that Leicester game. He'll get a chance again today as Sharp takes the captain's armband. There's John Fleck, the Scottish international. Finds himself plonked right in the middle. Presume it'll be a like-for-like change. Osborne going off for Fleck. And Sharp going right up front alongside McGoldrick. He's one of the few strikers in the Premier League, Billy Sharp, who has that instinctive striker's finish about him. Always seems to be in the right place at the right time. If you want anybody in the club to be in a one-on-one position, Billy Sharp is your man at Sheffield United. Got a third of the game to play. 60 minutes played. Sheffield United 0, Everton 1. Davis holds off Sander Berger, plays it inside to Sigurdsson. Can he slide through to Walcott? No, he can't. It's well blocked by O'Connell. You had to get that right. O'Connell was caught flat-footed, and thankfully for him, the Iceland midfielder hit it straight at him. Stuart telling Richarlison to calm down. It was Baldock who had that little spat with Luca Dean about 10 minutes or so ago. Here, Wilder barking out the instructions, his voice echoing around the ground. Here's Richarlison chasing Branthwaite's ball forward. It's Richarlison here. He's got away from Baldock. It's Richarlison up against Egan, edge of the penalty area. He's got Sigurdsson and Calvert-Lewin in the middle. Instead he pulls it all the way back to Andre Gomez as the ball's loose in the middle, and they're coming together, and Gomez has fouled Billy Sharp, and Sheffield United will get the free kick. But Gomez is the man who's down here. I think he just ran straight into Sharp, but it was a bit of a strange pass from Richarlison. He could have got the ball into the box. And I think he's probably just had the wind knocked out of him there, Andre Gomez. Yeah, there was an arm in the chest. And he'll just need a moment to catch his breath, I think, Andre Gomez. I'm just seeing a replay of that. A full whack from Gomez. He seemed to be stretching for it. I think Sharp, maybe in one corner of his mind, knew that he was going to make the collision with Andre Gomez and made the most of it. Free kick goes forward. Sharp will chase after it, but Keane gets the free header. Here's Sander Berge, loses out to Richarlison. Calvert-Lewin chasing John Egan, forces Egan into a ball down the line, and has been fouled. Just a bit of a shove from Dominic Calvert-Lewin right under the nose of the opposing bench. Chris Wilder kind of throwing his arms out wide, saying, what was the point in that? Ancelotti putting his arms out wide to say he didn't touch him, referee, but there was a clear arm in the back of the Sheffield United defender. Here's O'Connell. Sheffield United struggling to get forward. Their whole style of play is dependent on Everton getting the ball and coming at Sheffield United, which I think is why Fleck was brought on. He is one of the more tricky players in blue, as Everton win it back. But the free kick is brought back. Michael Keane, I think, left a foot in on Billy Sharp, and the free kick goes his way. It's taken quickly down the Everton right. They need to defend. Norwood sweeps it out to Baldock, the Sheffield right back, but his touch is heavy and behind him, so he goes back to Dean Henderson. Henderson sweeps the ball forward. He's not going to get that clean sheet record this season. He could equal it, by the way. The only other goalkeeper, or the most recent goalkeeper, to get that clean sheet record of most clean sheets for a newly promoted team is Van der Sar with 15, with 14. Michel Vorm of Swansea, the last man to do that, about 9 seasons ago. He's not going to be able to equal that record this season. The man who I'm sure will be thinking about making his transfer a permanent one. It's a clever touch here. As McGoldrick, can he get onto the overlap? No, he can't. So Debe with a foot in as he kicks it against the shins of McGoldrick. And Jordan Pickford just tells everybody in front of him to calm down. They've got their lead. And they hold on to it. Sheffield United looking to do the attacking at the moment. Sidibe inside to Gomez, and now Sidibe gets it back. Sigurdsson. Gomez chucks it down the right hand channel, looking for the run of Calvert-Lewin. It'll be picked up by Richarlison though. He fizzes it into Calvert-Lewin, who's one-on-one with Egan. Calvert-Lewin skips away. Luca Dean out wide. He finds Luca Dean, pulls it back to the penalty spot where Richarlison waited, but across was Chris Basham, who volleys it into touch. Everton coming forward with some space to move into there. Sigurdsson receives the throw from Luca Dean. His touch is heavy though, and Sheffield United pounce, win it back, and they can counter here on Everton. This is what they want. They need space to run into Sheffield United. Everton vacating their positions. Here's Stevens up against Sidibe. He's forced backwards by the Frenchman. O'Connell lobs one forward, but Michael Keane wins the header. Second one ball by Fleck. But when Keane's missed it, and I don't think McGoldrick was ready for it, and luckily he slips and Keane can recycle possession. Here's Walcott inside for Sigurdsson. He needs Calvert-Lewin to make a run. He does. Instead he finds Walcott on the right, and Walcott does the sensible thing, goes back to Sidibe. Walcott gets it back, goes inside, is read by Norwood. Henderson clears it away. Full power from the goalkeeper for Sheffield United. Dean Davis able to turn. He's played well in the middle here. Davis gets a 1-2 with Richarlison. He's got a runner ahead of him, but it's a heavy touch from Tom Davis overdid it a little bit. Branthwaite, solid at the back, takes command of the situation as well and goes inside to Andre Gomez. Good play from the young lad. Signed from Carlisle in the January transfer window, £750,000. Pretty cheap in the modern day market. Here's Davis, stands on the ball but is able to get the ball away to Sidibe. Everton with a bit more time in the middle at the moment. Gomez outside of the boot. What a ball that is for Walcott. Calvert-Lewin waits, as does Sigurdsson. Walcott away from Stevens into the penalty area, pulls it back, looking for the arriving run of Luca Dean, but across comes Norwood, who's then shoved by Richarlison and will get the free kick on the edge of his own penalty area. Well, Theo Walcott did very well to get away from Stevens, and he had 3 players who'd all made the run into the 6-yard box, and no one was waiting on the penalty spot. He was closest to Sigurdsson, but he was always going to stretch for it. And Norwood was coming back, so benefited from gaining possession there. Sheffield United preparing to make another substitution. It's John Lundstrom who seems to be coming on for the Blades. The man who's made 32 appearances this season, John Lundstrom, was a regular in the starting 11 at the start of the season, but since Christmas really he's always been second choice. Sander Berger's arrival has pretty much permanently demoted him to the bench as we get the second drinks break of the game. But if you just joined us here on Premier League Live, you're listening to Sheffield United versus Everton at Bramall Lane. The score is Everton 1, Sheffield United 0, and it was Richarlison in the first minute of the second half with a header from a free kick. And he certainly enjoyed that one. His 14th Premier League goal of the season, 15th in all competitions. And he got a few slaps on his head for his finish as well. So you hear the substitution confirmed there. Norwood on a yellow card, probably the smart decision from Chris Wilder to replace him with John Lundstrom, and presumably Fleck will drop into the deepest of midfield positions with Lundstrom being involved in goals a lot more than he has this season. Lundstrom, 4 goals to his name this season. Actually, apologies, John Fleck, he's got 5 goals. John Lundstrom's got the 4, but he certainly got more than Sander Berger, that is for sure, even though Sander Berger did join in January. Maybe I'm doing Sander Berger a disservice. 22 minutes of normal time to play here at Bramall Lane. Chris Wilder strokes his chin in deep thought about how he can turn this game on his head, as European football seems to be vanishing for Sheffield United in front of his very eyes, in front of the empty stadium here in South Yorkshire. You'd expect in these kind of games the crowd would 100% play a big part, but not so much today with the lack of fans, and probably not so much for the start of next season as well, as Dean beats Baldock in the here's Lundstrom, gets his first touch, gives it away to Richarlison though, and now Gomez gets a lot of space in the middle, switches the ball to Walcott, rather optimistically, who's pressuring O'Connell, and now he's pressuring Stevens, and does well Theo Walcott to prevent that ball going forward. As Sheffield United get a throw as the sanitised ball is picked up off the risen cone on the halfway line. Just seeing a shot of Phil Jagielka in the crowd. Well, I say in the crowd, he's on the substitutes bench for Sheffield United. Spent many a year at Everton, of course. He was their captain for 6 years, from 2013 till the end of last season, when he moved back to his boyhood club. Side he came through the ranks out as Fleck guides his way past Walcott and out wide as the ball comes in towards the back post. Sharp was waiting for it, but Luca Dean beat him to it. It was all about Luca Dean winning that. Otherwise, Sheffield United actually had 2 players over at the back post. Basham was arriving late, but Sharp was a man in waiting there. Luca Dean with the important header at the back post. Can they make a set piece count like Everton did, Sheffield United? It'll come in from John Fleck, left-footed towards the near post. Pickford goes up and he's fouled by Billy Sharp, who knocked into Jordan Pickford in his 6-yard box. Pickford just having a word with Billy Sharp. All about mind games between striker and goalkeeper, and you can bet your bottom buck that if there's a penalty in this game for Sheffield United, it will probably be Billy Sharp taking it, and it was a pretty deliberate foul by Billy Sharp, leaning into England's goalkeeper. Keane, Sidibe sweeps the ball forward, looking for Calvert-Lewin, beaten in the middle. Andre Gomez, what a touch that is, and then switches the ball out wide where Luca Dean waits. Dean, ball down the left hand side for Walcott to chase. Across comes Egan though. Lundstrom. Everton showing a lot of desire, something we haven't really seen in the last few weeks. They were second best against Aston Villa, sat in the relegation zone. They were way second best against Wolves, and against Southampton they just kind of lacked anything going forward, and thankfully it's Richarlison with something out of nothing. Dean, long throw down the line. It's a tussle between Basham and Calvert-Lewin. It comes off the back of Basham. I think there was a bit of shoulder pulling from both players, so a free kick could have gone either way. Instead, a throw into the decision as Ancelotti watches on. His long hair nowadays. Not been the barbers in a while, Carlo.
Yes. Give me the ball.
Apologies to any strong language you may have heard there. The cameraman refusing to leave his position to give the ball back to Baldock. Richarlison pressuring the Sheffield United defence, but they still have it. Basham and now Egan. He's been the goal hero the past couple of weeks. That late goal against Wolves, you may remember John Egan. 96th minute or whatever it was. Here's Dean inside to Tom Davis, who's seen a lot of the ball in this game. Everton's midfield has been significantly more involved attacking wise than they had in previous weeks. Here's Michael Keane, Jibril Sidibe, and Goldrick still doing plenty of running up front. The attacking options for Sheffield United are stronger than their defensive options, so there's always Kieran Freeman who could possibly come on. Zivkovic, the man who joined from a side in China. I'm going to attempt to say their name. Chang Chun Yatia, I think was their name. Apologies to any fans of that team if I've mispronounced it, but the Dutchman's on the bench. Only made a few appearances for Sheffield United so far, yet to get off the mark for his new side. Here's O'Connell, finds some space out wide for Stevens. Stevens looking forward, and here he is, Fleck, Stevens down the left hand side. Sidibe stops Stevens, back to Fleck, 25 yards from goal. Sander Berger up against Richarlison, doesn't know what to do. Sander Berger eventually finds Egan, and now Basham, and he gets away from Digne, who slips at the wrong time. Baldock, Sheffield United prodding their way through. Eventually Sidibe comes across and clears it to Richarlison. Davis forward to Gomez inside to Sigurdsson, who's brought down. Play goes on, and No, it doesn't, because the foul's been given against Gylfi Sigurdsson. I think he was trying to just shield the ball, but the free kick's given against Gylfi Sigurdsson. Sigurdsson just on the floor complaining rather than getting up and playing on. You can hear Jordan Pickford shouting at him to get up, but he is finally up. Sigurdsson trying to get possession back and commits a soft foul on Basham. I think that was rather in frustration to the foul he gave away 20-30 seconds or so ago. It was a shoulder in the back of Basham. He went down rather easily, but it was a certain foul from the Everton captain today. Not really leading by example there, it has to be said. It's taken short. Sander Berge, the overlapping run is from Lundstrom. He needs to get this ball in. He cuts inside and pulls it back to the edge of the penalty area. Fleck waits. He's pressed by Sigurdsson. Everton forcing Sheffield United to move the ball fast. Here's Lundstrom. The overlapping run now is from Baldock, and what a tackle that is by Tom Davies, sliding in behind George Baldock and winning possession just before Sheffield United's right back gets there. Well, Lundstrom had the sense of mind to slide it into Baldock, who tried to arch his run. And he did so. Here's Fleck, left-footed corner to sweeping deep one. Pickford stays at home, headed away by Calvert-Lewin. It's only flicked on more than anything, but Sidibe is available for the second ball. Calvert-Lewin now needs to get out of his own half and chase down possession. He's the only Everton player in the Sheffield United half at the moment, actually. Branthwaite, solid header from the youngster in ahead of McGoldrick. Lundstrom across to Sander Berge. Andre Gomez still full of running, full of chasing, but he has vacated space in the midfield as Sheffield United come forward, and that was the chance for Billy Sharp. He just couldn't get his studs on it to control it as it slid out from under his feet, and that is the clearest opportunity that any of the Sheffield United strikers on the pitch have had in this second half. Fleck with the vision slid it between Branthwaite and Keane, and Sharp just didn't get his foot in right, and he'll be furious with himself as they come forward here. He might get another chance. No, McGoldrick, poor touch from him as his head drops after the opportunity goes to waste. Branthwaite. Pickford. Everton would be happy if they could just keep possession and pass it around the defence for the remainder of the 90. Walcott into the air for Calvert-Lewin, who's bumped into Stevens, who's gone down holding his face. And the yellow card's been pulled out of Stuart Atwell's top pocket. A yellow card for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I think it was an accidental arm from the former Sheffield United man. Incidentally, Brighton Hove Albion, Newcastle United is 0-0 down on the south coast. Andy Carroll's just entered the fray in that game. Well, it wasn't an elbow in the face of Stevens, it was an arm, and then as Calvert-Lewin went to control the ball, he then seemingly kicked Stevens in the face just to rub salt in the wounds. Not literally, of course. But Everton, with the third yellow card of the game, Richarlison and Davis also on that list with Calvert-Lewin. Dean into the mix. Davis with the second ball. Sigurdsson in a tussle. Now Richarlison, who scoops the ball forward, but Sigurdsson was already fouled by Sander Berge, who had a fistful of the Iceland midfielders' blue shirt. Chris Wilder disputing that still. Always got a tan, Chris Wilder. Presumably he's always on the training pitch, not down Tantastic. Both managers looking on pensively as this game ticks towards the final 10 minutes. 78.5 minutes played at Bramall Lane. There's Richarlison. Round of applause from the bench as he plays it out wide to Luca Dean. Heavy touch from the Frenchman, but skips away from Lundstrom, keeping possession. Davis inside to Gomez. Skips away from Fleck in the midfield. He's done very well there, Andre Gomez. And now Sigurdsson, space to run into here for Everton. Walcott, two blue shirts in the penalty area. Can Walcott find one? One of them was Calvert-Lewin, who was closest to it, but it was blocked by O'Connell. The first man, disappointing cross from Theo Walcott. Sidibe wants it, Sidibe gets it. And now Gomez, Everton play it backwards to Michael Keane. And now Tom Davis. Everton playing with a lot of confidence here. Sidibe inside to Calvert-Lewin. It's a good ball in behind here. Theo Walcott squares it looking for Richarlison. Should have took a shot at goal. He didn't. And Henderson scrambles across to clear it down the line. But that warrants a round of applause from the Everton bench, because Everton cut through Sheffield United very pleasantly there. Well, we saw in the first half where Theo Walcott should have crossed the ball. And he said he went for the shot. This time he went for the cross when he should have gone for the shot. He got it wrong there, I think, Theo Walcott. But Everton with some decent football. Henderson prepared himself for that cross. Richarlison arrived but was nowhere near it. Maybe Gomez can have a chance here for Everton. It's Andre Gomez from range with the shot. Oh, and it's just a yard or so wide. A good bobbling effort from Andre Gomez, who wound up from a good 25 yards and had Henderson sprawling across to his left hand side. But a man who's yet to register a goal in the Premier League this season came pretty close there. Henderson, I think, had his angles right in the end though. Everton have possession still. Walcott, Sidibe, all the way back to Michael Keane. Now Jared Branthwaite, Tom Davis. Oh, and he's caught by John Lundstrom, and there's space in the middle here, but Davis gets across just in time. Claiming for a handball and a back pass to Pickford, but he wasn't going to get that. Tom Davis was caught out by John Lundstrom, the one-time Everton player. Sidibe looking for movement, doesn't have anything in front of him. Michael Keane is the option then. He's closed down by McGoldrick, who seems exhausted up front. Sheffield United, they still have Leon Clark on the bench. Sheffield United, I don't know whether he'll provide some extra legs for the final 9 minutes of normal time, and then of course the additional time we'll see, which presumably will be at least 3 with all the substitutions we've had, and the drinks break of course. Here's Lundstrom, thought about crossing it, instead goes inside. Here's Basham, and now Berger, pressed by Richarlison. Everton seemingly impossible to break down for Sheffield United. Still time to go though. 1-0 on Premier League Live. Remember, tweet us at TalkSport Live so we can respond to your thoughts on the goal in this game. There hasn't been a goal in the other game yet. Still 0-0 down at Brighton, with Newcastle visiting there. Long journey that for those visiting supporters. As the ball goes long, Branthwaite in a tussle with Billy Sharp, and Jared Branthwaite does well to outmuscle Billy Sharp. There's quite a significant age difference between the two of them, 18 years in fact. And there you go. There's the substitution that Sheffield United needed to make. Basham makes way and Zivkovic comes on. It's a defender for a striker. He's going for it. Here is Mr. Chris Wilder. Presumably it's now in a 4-3-3 for Sheffield United. Or will they be playing a 4-5-1 with Zivkovic out wide? Only time will tell. This is his moment. 82 minutes played. Still 1-0 to Everton at Bramall Lane as Zivkovic chases down Michael Keane, and he's done well to win possession back here, Zivkovic. And he's won a throw-in. About 10 yards away from the corner flag down the Sheffield United left-hand side. Strong start from the Dutchman, signed from the Chinese Championship winners. I'm not going to say the name again because I can't pronounce it. In fact, you know what, I'll give it a go. Chang Shun Yatai, the sign that he joined from. And Anthony Gordon is the man who comes on in place of Theo Walcott, who is being ushered off the pitch on the far side by Stuart Atwell. Well, Walcott was jogging off towards the near side here, but instead he's now walking off to the far side. So Walcott's got the long walk around the pitch. Thing is, he has to go anti-clockwise as well, so he can't be adjudged to be part of the potential back line for Everton, to save on any confusion with the linesman. So he's got a real long walk, making the position from the right back side all the way over to the midfield on this near side. Gordon involved straight away, stopping Stevens' cross. Another Sheffield United throw-in. Big throw into the box from Stevens, but Davis cuts it out. Cleared only as far as Fleck, who stabs it inside, but Sidibe reads it well and wins possession back. Here's Calvert-Lewin, who, is he tripped by Fleck? No, he's not. He was always going down. Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Fleck holds his arms out wide and says, didn't touch him, ref, which Stuart Atwell agrees with. Well, John Fleck has the most goal involvements at Sheffield United, which, considering where they are in the league table, isn't actually that impressive. 5 goals and 2 assists to his name. Everything just distributed around the Sheffield United side in terms of goals. They've got 2 players on 6, Fleck the only one on 5, but then they've got 3 players on 4, and then a handful of players on 2 as well. Defence, midfield, attack, it doesn't matter where the goals come from. Here comes Sheffield United. It's Stevens in the penalty area. They're lining up for Sheffield United. One of them is Baldock, and he gets his header from about 10 yards out completely wrong, and the right back in the penalty area skies his header. He should have done much better from there, George Baldock. A real good opportunity for the home side. Comes to nothing. Well, it was the left back to the right back, and he was always going to do well to find the target there, to be fair to Baldock. It was behind him, and he had to generate a lot of power as well. And Pickford was quite happy just to watch that go over the top of his goal. Goal kick for Everton, which Pickford belts down the field. O'Connell steps in front of Calvert-Lewin. Branthwaite gets his head in there ahead of Sharp. The second ball is missed by Fleck, and Gomez will benefit from that. Here's Sigurdsson. Everton looking a lot more tired now, but Luca Dean still full of running. Down the left hand side is Richarlison, having his shirt pulled. Goes inside to Davis, goes inside to Sigurdsson, who took his eye off the ball at the crucial moment. And Sheffield United need to be careful at the back here, and there's a foul on O'Connell for shirt pulling from Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Sigurdsson just switched off there for a moment. Everton yet to make a change, by the way. Ancelotti happy with what's unfolding in front of him as Branthwaite steps in and wins possession ahead of Billy Sharp, and then plays inside to Tom Davis. Strong play from the youngster, who's been impressive alongside Michael Keane at the back for Everton. And Connell runs into Sigurdsson, but the ball bobbles into Berger's possession. Centre circle now, the Norwegian international for Sheffield United, the record signing for Sheffield United, £22 million. Started in a more attacking presence, but worked his way back into the central / defensive midfield position for the home side. Like I said in the intro 86 minutes ago, scored with his first shot, hasn't scored since in the Premier League. As the ball comes in, Keane puts his right foot in front of it and deals it as Gordon is tumbled into by Ender Stevens, and the free kick goes the way of the Everton man. Stevens doesn't see what he did wrong, but Anthony Gordon was certainly sent flying. And Sigurdsson is the man who comes off, and Coleman is the man who comes on in his place. Oh, sorry, there has been the substitution for Everton, hasn't there? Of course, Anthony Gordon just came on for Theo Walcott. Need to eat more brain food, I think that's my issue. So this time Gylfi Sigurdsson is able to make the walk across the pitch, and he's actually going to give the armband to the actual Everton club captain, Seamus Coleman, who comes on, who presumably is going to make a back 3 for Everton, with Sidibe and Luca Dean operating as wing backs, similar to Sheffield United's current shape. Now, it'd be interesting to see how that changes things, because they've been pretty solid so far at the back, Everton. Will adding a defender and changing shape mean they're just as strong? Only time will tell. Pickford picks out Dean on the Everton left inside the Sheffield United half. Here's Gordon. Good first touch and turn from Everton's teenage midfielder. Davis has movement ahead of him in the form of Luca Dean. Can Luca Dean get there? He can. He pulls it into the penalty area. Sander Berger steps in, and Sheffield United's counter is on. Sharp holds it up, gets an arm in the back from Branthwaite. Richarlison runs into Sharp. Can't stop Sheffield United progressing though, as Keane steps in and guides it back to Pickford ahead of Zivkovic. Gomez. He had a bit of an ooh from the a few press box members around here, as Pickford looked like he was going to give it away to Zivkovic. Still plenty of shouting going on the touchline down in front of me. Richarlison stopping Sheffield United from progressing, and there's a yellow card raised for the Everton man, who I thought was already on a yellow card. I certainly do need some brain food. Yellow card for Richarlison now. 4th Everton player in the book. 3rd Everton player, sorry. Goodness me. I need to get some sleep, I think. Of normal time. Have Sheffield United got anything left in the tank? Coleman gets his first touch, and that is to clear it against the back of Zivkovic, and out for an Everton throw-in. As Chris Wilder rubs his eyes in disbelief Not got much time to turn it around. I'm anticipating at least 4 minutes to be added on here. Here's McGoldrick back defending for Sheffield United. That's not where they want him. They want him up the far end of the pitch. Here's Baldock into Sharp. Holds it up. McGoldrick on the halfway line. He's meant to be playing centre forward. Here's O'Connell. Everton need to get back here because Sheffield United are coming forward. O'Connell hits it against Andre Gomez. Trying to get it into the Everton box, and I think they're going to wind one up here, the home side. And there you go, 4 minutes added on. Got something right today at least. Baldock looking, Stevens rather looking for an option. He goes to O'Connell. And now Egan, every outfield player currently in Everton's half. Gordon playing in a central position seemingly as the ball gets chucked into the penalty area. Branthwaite gets his head on it. Where's it going to drop? It's going to drop to Sidibe, and he's surrounded by 2 red and white shirts. He clears his line, but only as far as Stevens, 20 yards from the corner flag. He goes backwards to Sanderberger, who has no choice but to go back to O'Connell. Calvert-Lewin still trying to put pressure on that Everton back line. Is there an equaliser in this game for Sheffield United? Otherwise they could well wave European football goodbye. Here's Stevens. Flex. Stevens in a central position. Tries to loop one into the area. Davis blocks it. He got that in a sensitive part of his body. McGoldrick. Onside still McGoldrick. Stevens back to McGoldrick. Can Sheffield United make this count? Stevens now. Under pressure from Sidibe. Out wide to Fleck. Sheffield United trying to just prod their way through. Fleck with a chance to put the ball in. There's 6 players in red in the penalty area. One of them is Egan. It's up into the air. Up goes McGoldrick as well. Still not dealt with. Baldock hits it into the face of Luca Dean. And there'll be a moment here because Luca Dean got that flush in the nose. And I'm sure he'll just need a minute to collect his thoughts here. Luca Dean, who took that right up the nose. That was a sore one. Tom Davis also dropped down after getting the ball in the area, which I'm sure all blokes have felt before. Well, we've had about 2 minutes of the injury time played so far, and Luca Dean's just going to need a minute to collect his thoughts, and I think Luca Dean isn't going to go off because the physio didn't actually come on. It was just a knock into the nose of Luca Dean, but he'll need to switch on because Sheffield United come forward once again. Lundstrom receives it back from Baldock, who won the header. Still alive with Lundstrom. Can he get the ball in? He does. Only as far as Calvert-Lewin, who's back there defending, and then Richarlison volleys it away. Everybody back for Everton. Calvert-Lewin defending in his own penalty area. Sheffield United, one last roll of the dice, or it could be goodbye European football for Chris Wilder's side. Sidibe, strong header. Fleck picks it up though. Stevens, Sanderberger, 10 yards inside Everton's half. McGoldrick under pressure from Gordon, who wins it back, and now Richarlison pounces, and Calvert-Lewin. Everton come forward here. Will they go to the corner or will they go for goal? It's Anthony Gordon. He's going to go for goal, you know. Gordon onto his left foot. He tries to square it for Calvert-Lewin, and it's behind the former Blades man, and that could have been game, set and match if they found him there. Instead, Sheffield United come away, and can that decision from Gordon not to go to the corner flag come back to bite Everton? Here's Lundstrom on the halfway line into the final minute of injury time, although I'm sure we'll have a little bit more because of the ball in the face for Luca Dean. It goes long, looking for Egan. The header's won by Egan, and it goes behind for a goal kick. Pickford just watches it roll behind. Iwobi looked like he was going to come on for Everton to waste a little bit of time, but that won't be the case. Egan went up with Branthwaite and Dean, and it was Egan who won the head, but I don't think that'll go down as an attempt on goal. And have Everton got enough in the tank to see this over the line? Sheffield United's time is ticking by, and if you ask me, that could well be curtains. Be a great win this for Everton. Be their first win in 5. I don't think anybody expected them to get a result here. Nothing to play for, but as it stands, Richarlison's header means 3 points go to Merseyside. Jordan Pickford with the goal kick. Left foot, pumps it downfield. No whistle yet from the referee. Calvert-Lewin with a shove in the back of O'Connell. Can they get the ball forward fast here, Sheffield United? Instead they go backwards to Dean Henderson. You can hear the pressure from the bench as Henderson winds up for one kick long. Henderson Boots it long. Last roll of the dice here for Sheffield United. Michael Keane, solid header. Fleck finds a second ball though. Fleck running up against Andre Gomez. Fleck slowed down by Gomez as the ball comes in. This is the chance. Oh, Zivkovic beaten to it by Michael Keane once again. Carlo Ancelotti screaming for the full-time whistle. But Michael Keane's header key there, not one but two. As Stevens will wind up a big throw into the penalty area here. They have to go for it, Sheffield United. They've got no other option. He doesn't. Instead, he goes backwards to Sander Berger. Berger into the penalty area, looking for a red shirt. It falls to Keane. Will it fall here for Baldock? The ball comes back in once more. It's missed by everyone in the middle. McGoldrick with a chance, and he slips as he strikes the ball, and it goes flying over the top of Jordan Pickford's crossbar and into the stands. As the final whistle blows, McGoldrick slips. Sheffield United slip on their opportunity to find European football, as it seems as if Chris Wilder's side now have a real struggle to find those Europa League positions, and it's Carlo Ancelotti's Everton who get the big 3 points here. Well, the big chance for McGoldrick, the man who hadn't scored this season until that game against Chelsea, and his left foot, his standing foot slipped from underneath him, and the finish found the back of the stand. The final score here in a game that was pretty even. Everton defended well. Sheffield United had their chances, but it's Richarlison's header, the only goal that matters in this game. The final score in Sheffield is Sheffield United 0, Everton 1, and we'll now go down to the south coast for the final throws of Brighton and Hove Albion Newcastle, where it's 0-0 as it stands in injury time.
Poor ball out of defence. Ritchie fires it, and it hits Webster and comes out again. Ritchie may get another chance. He swirls it into the box towards the far side, where Carroll was holding onto his man and conceding a free kick. It was Dan Burn. We've had 5 minutes now. We're into a few seconds beyond that. Ritchie maybe has been one Newcastle player who's at least tried to make something up. I just wonder whether Dan Burn had his arm round Andy Carroll there.
Yeah, it was 6-1 off a dozen of the other there, wasn't it? Two big lads grappling for...
Could have been a penalty.
Yeah, possibly.
Nobody appealed for it, but I thought he had his arm around him and pulled him down. Certainly didn't feel that Carroll was the guilty party. Anyway, the final whistle blows. Brighton have done what they needed to do, albeit in fairly unspectacular fashion. They've got the point they need to make sure that mathematically they are safe. It wasn't the best game, but long trip back for Newcastle. But Brighton have done what they needed to do. It has finished Brighton and Hove Albion 0, Newcastle 0. You're listening to Premier League Live. Oh, now Mopai's gone down, but he swept it into Trossard, who shoots, and it's a good save in the end by Dubravka. But the story there is, was that a penalty? Webster, who just about manages to keep his feet. Webster will shoot, and it's an excellent shot and a very good save by Martin Dubravka. That was hit with real venom by Adam Webster, and it was screaming into the top corner until Dubravka denied him with his right hand.
Yeah, it was a great strike from distance from a centre-half, Adam Webster. I mean, who'd have thought we'd have been talking about a centre-half live in this game up from distance?
Well, in truth, it was just about the only thing we were talking about. This is one of those games which is probably best forgotten. Put it to bed. Brighton have got the point they need to be mathematically safe. My thanks to Sean Derry. We're almost out of time. My thanks to all of you for your tweets. I've seen better games, and hopefully we'll see better games in the future. But anyway, fair play. Brighton are safe, and they've drawn 0-0 with Newcastle. You're listening to Premier League Live.
Evenings with James Whale on Talk Radio. Keep connected with round-the-clock news, essential information and expert insight.
I think we've got to be very careful about the way this has all been going on.
Cutting through the confusion with everything you need to stay safe, informed and entertained.
Everyone's going on about, we should be tracking and testing, and I just don't know how that is going to happen.
Evenings with James Whale. Weeknights from 7 on Talk Radio.
In a world of 24/7 global sportscasting and instant news infotainment, one man bestrides the airwaves like a snow-capped Caledonian colossus.
Hello, I'm Jim White.
Jim White, Anchorman.
mid-morning news team assemble.
Jim White and Natalie Sawyer, the #1 rated news source for breaking sports stories, big-name guests, and liquid showbiz charisma.
Great Odin's Ravens. That's quite a transfer.
There's nothing burgundy about Jim White. Tomorrow morning from 10 on TalkSport.
In the spring of the year 2020 AD, a deadly enemy rages like a torrent of fire between the ends of empire.
My name is